In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 steps you got to do if you want to go from poor to middle class. And if you get these steps out of order, you're going to make things 10 times harder for yourself, and you might not even know why. I'm Dr. Brad Klontz, financial psychologist, professor, and best-selling author. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology and the habits and the real statistics behind escaping poverty and starting to build financial independence. But before we dive in, let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever wondered how two people can grow up in the exact same neighborhood, but one becomes wealthy and the other stays broke? Why do some people climb out of financial stress while others stay permanently stuck, even though they might be working just as hard? What if the difference isn't timing or luck or talent or intelligence? What if it's something as simple as a basic formula that everyone can follow? And what if following these 7 steps in the wrong order is secretly the biggest reason why people stay broke longer than they would need to? Make sure to stay until the end, because in step 7, I'm going to share with you the most common mistakes that destroy the wealth of millions of people every single year, even people who follow steps 1 through 6 correctly. So don't skip that part. If you're into psychology and money and you want to rewire the beliefs that have been holding you back for years, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now let's get into it. Here are the 7 steps you need to take to go from poor to middle class. Step number 1, you got to finish school. The people yelling that school doesn't matter obviously skipped statistics class, and unfortunately their bank accounts prove it. Let's talk about why finishing school is such a critical step. The Bureau of Labor Statistics makes it no secret, and it's entirely obvious, that the more education you get, the more money you make. And this is just as true now in 2025 as it's been for decades. The fact is, the further you go along in school, the more money you're going to make and the less likely that you will end up unemployed. For example, in 2022, workers between the ages of 25 and 34 with a bachelor's degree made about $67,000 a year. And people with a high school diploma earned $42,000 a year. That is almost a $25,000 difference every single year just because of education. And get this, in the first quarter of 2025, college-educated workers earned a median weekly wage of about $1,700. Meanwhile, high school graduates earned $953. This gap compounds over the decades to almost $1 million during somebody's work life. Now, you're going to hear that college isn't worth it all over the internet. And the fact is, the statistics just show that that's not the case. Now, you need to be smart about what major you pick, because some majors pay less than minimum wage, but on average, college is absolutely worth it. Now, I'm not casting any shade at all on the trades. Many plumbers I know, people in construction, mechanics, they make very, very good money. But guess what they did? They got educated in how to perform those tasks. Education, very, very important. This step matters so much because if you skip it, you're going to spend your entire work life under-earning. Now, more education doesn't guarantee wealth, but less education makes it statistically much harder for you to reach. And psychologically, finishing school, it helps build discipline, it helps build confidence. And all of these things really do matter when it comes to making good financial choices throughout your lifetime. So step 1, get educated. Step 2, get a job. You'll be poor forever if you don't have this one thing. It's not your dream job. It's not your forever job. It is a job. Income is the raw material of wealth. And guess what? The more hours you work, the more money you will make. And the fact is, you can't build up savings. You can't build up retirement. You can't start investing. You can't have stability if you don't have money coming into your life on the regular. And the data backs this up. People who have higher educations are much more likely to work full time. And when you're working full time, you're making way more, quite often at least twice as much as if you're working part time. And that really does mean that work is foundational. It's not optional. I really don't know where people get this idea that they can go from poor to middle class without working. That's insane. Psychologically, a job's going to give you structure. It's going to teach you competence, and it's going to teach you responsibility. These are things very, very important if you want to go from poor to middle class. A job is really practice for you in how to manage money. It'll connect you to networks, it'll help you with future opportunities, and it'll give you something to do every day that's productive. But perhaps even most importantly, it funds step number 3. And this is where the wealth engine really gets turned on. Step number 3, invest 30% of every dollar you make before you move out of your mom's basement. If you don't invest before upgrading your lifestyle, you're not building wealth, you're building a trap. And this is where most people lose the game right from the start. They get a job, they get money, then they move out, they go buy furniture, they figure out the apartment they want to rent, they get the most that they can possibly afford, they get a car, they take a vacation, and then they sit back and wonder, why can't I afford to invest? You must reverse the pattern. Before you move out, before you buy anything, before you start inflating your lifestyle, and I know you're going to want to do it, invest 30% of every dollar you make. If you could start this when you were 3 or 4, I would absolutely wish that upon you. Then it just becomes normal. Why 30%? Well, just because I want you to become wealthy and I want you to become wealthy faster. You could pick a lower percentage, you could pick a higher percentage. I always shot for 30 in my life, and it made me a millionaire 10 years after I got out of school. So it really comes down to how wealthy you want to become and how fast you want to become wealthy. And the more time you have to put that money to work, the wealthier you're going to become. The US stock market for over 100 years has returned on average over 10% a year. That means that roughly every 7 years or so, your money has the opportunity to double. So if you're starting to invest in your teens or in your 20s, that compounding will be absolutely life-changing. Pay yourself first is not just a strategy, make it your identity when it comes to money. This will tell your brain right from the start, I'm here to climb the socioeconomic ladder. I'm here to go from poor to middle class to wealthy. I'm not here to just be a consumer. Do you know what that's what they call you? They call you a consumer, just consuming stuff, spending all your money. Become an investor, become wealthy. You deserve it. Step number 4, if you can't invest 30% of your income, then reduce your expenses or get a side hustle. You're not financially trapped. You're just underpowered. You need to either add power or reduce drag. If you don't have enough money to invest 30% of every dollar you make, you're going to have to do one of two things, or perhaps both. Number 1, you're going to have to lower your expenses. Number 2, you're going to have to increase your income. How do you lower your expenses? This is a challenge, and that's why I think it's best as soon as you get a job, the first dollar you get, you're investing 30% of it before you start to create your lifestyle. If this is coming to you afterwards, like most Americans, it's going to get kind of tough. You're going to have to look at how you can reduce your income. So maybe you have to get a roommate. What an incredible way to cut your rent in half. And for most people, housing is like their number one expense. Get a roommate, get 2, get 3. Sell your car and ride the bus. Now, don't get upset at me. I did this. I got rid of a car. My wife and I only had one car. I walked, I biked to work. We saved a ton of money when we did that. And then do other simple things like cancel those subscriptions you're not using. There's a bunch of shave your head, save money on haircuts. Look, this is the part that's rough. So you might want to do the second thing, which is get a side hustle, get a separate job. Now, before you get mad at me, I've always had at least 3 jobs my entire life. So you're going to get no pity from me that, I'm working 40 hours a week and it's too rough. If you really want to become wealthy, accelerate your wealth building, get a side hustle or 2 or 3. The fact is that many people who go from poor to rich, guess what they're doing? They're the hardest workers you will ever see. They're working more hours. They're trying to work smarter. They're always looking for the next opportunity. You can't rest on your laurels of your one job if you want to get there faster. You're going to have to increase your sources of income. This step is so important because it can help you create extra money. It can help you invest more so you can become wealthier faster. But the key really is this. If you don't take responsibility for how you're spending money and how you're earning money, you're going to stay stuck forever, even if you're working hard. Step number 5, get married to a spouse who works. The wrong partner can bankrupt you faster than any bad investment. Now, this is a controversial step. Don't get mad at me, but the data is extremely crystal clear. Married couples make more money and they have more money than single people, especially when both are working. They can build wealth far faster than single income households. For example, in 2024, about half of married couples who had both spouses employed, didn't have children, were earning about $140,000 a year. That's way better than $70,000 a year because you're sharing a bunch of expenses. Marriage, of course, it's emotional. Of course, it's romantic. It's also economical. Shared expenses means that you're lowering your cost per person. Two incomes mean that you're saving and investing at a higher rate. Having a partner involved too will also help improve your beliefs and your behaviors when it comes to money, and studies show that. But of course, this only works if your partner is sharing the same values and the same. But of course, this is only is going to work well if you find a partner who shares the same values you have around everything and around money, and also shares your financial goals of financial independence. Marrying somebody who's financially reckless is an absolute train wreck. Step number 6. Now it's time to go ahead and have kids, but only once you've done steps 1 through 5. Kids are a blessing, but having them before you're ready can turn your financial life into a crisis that you may never recover from. Raising a child costs about $300,000 over 18 years. And that's before college, before emergencies, before all the extras. If you have kids before you've stabilized your life, before you finish school, before you've gotten a good job, before you are in a committed relationship with a dual income earning spouse, it's going to be a lot tougher, and it can be a financial weight that can be very difficult to handle. And I have done lots of consulting with single parents over the years, and quite often the ugly answer is, look, I don't know how you can save and invest a whole lot right now. You're going to need to focus on making money and supporting your kids, because that's just the life phase you're at right now. And you're doing it with limited support. And this is what can keep people, quite frankly, stuck in poverty for years and years, if not decades. The fact is that kids are going to thrive and do better when their parents are feeling safe and stable and have enough money to meet the household needs. Having kids outside of that structure just makes the burden so much more challenging for you. And again, if you already find yourself in that situation, understand this. This isn't judgment. I have nothing but love for you. And you also know that it's extremely challenging. This brings us to step number 7. Don't do any of these 6 stupid things. You've done great. You've done steps 1 through 5. Don't blow it. Most people don't stay broke because of low income. They stay broke because they blow up their lives by doing one of these 6 very stupid things. The fact is that one bad choice can blow up everything you've spent decades building. People think that doing things stupid only involves investing, but it's much bigger than that. Here are the real wealth killers. Number 1, destroying your health. Alcohol addiction, drug abuse, vaping, getting addicted to pills, reckless behavior. They don't just destroy your body, they destroy your financial life. It'll lead to medical bills, lost jobs, lost opportunities, damaged relationships, a general sense of unhappiness, a lack of cognitive performance. So remember, on your journey from going poor to middle class or middle class to ultra wealthy, remember, keep wealth a priority. Take care of yourself, eat well, exercise, give yourself a break along the way so that you can put the stress aside and enjoy life. Wealth killer number 2, destroying your marriage. Cheating, infidelity, secret spending, gambling, lies. These aren't just moral failures, they're financial self-destruction. Divorce can cut your wealth in half immediately. Blowing up your relationship can obviously hurt your partnership. You'll lose your support system. You might even lose your home. You're going to lose your stability. And you could even lose, or at least pause, your long-term earning potential. Remember this, marital therapy is way cheaper than a divorce. So get in there, get honest, look at your role and your part in why the relationship isn't fulfilling all of your needs, and get to work. Wealth killer number 3, destroying your reputation. Now, I know you're not going to do this. You're a good person, right? But lying, being known as a scammer, stealing, burning bridges, being rude to people, acting impulsively, all of these things can absolutely ruin your reputation, or at least give it a huge hit that can take years or decades to recover from. And reputation is so important when it comes to going from poor to middle class and higher levels of socioeconomic status, because you want to have a network who believes in you. You want to have a career that you can advance in and not get pegged as somebody who isn't a team player. Number 4, wealth killer, destroying your freedom. And this may sound obvious, but I've seen it happen to so many people I even care about. They get a DUI. They get busted for tax evasion or tax fraud, by the way, which is really easy to do. So make sure you're paying close attention to your tax return, or any other type of criminal behavior will absolutely wreck your future. Now, I'm not saying you can't recover from it, but we're talking years or even decades of you really struggling. Remember, one terrible decision can destroy you. And my best advice around this is be very, very careful about who you're spending time with. Make sure that you're spending time with people who are on upward trajectory, who are dedicated to bettering their lives, who are focused on school, not on hustling, so that you have a peer group that can support you along the way and not drag you down. Wealth killer number 5 is destroying your mindset. Make sure that you are not stuck with a poor mindset, blaming everyone else for your financial circumstances. What you want to have is an internal locus of control where you're looking at, what can I be doing differently? How can I be thinking differently? What strategies do I need to employ to help myself along the way? What role models can I learn from? Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's a book you're reading, whether it's people in your life. It's really common too with this mindset to fall into a get rich quick mindset, thinking that that's how people become wealthy. And you may be seduced by these stories of people who are making it really big when it comes to crypto, or people are making money really, really fast. Honestly, trust me, so many people stay poor because they don't understand that wealth is built slowly with discipline over the years. It's not by a stroke of luck. Take that off the table. It's not gambling. It's not winning the lottery. This is not your path to wealth. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's going to take time. It's going to take hustle. It's going to take dedication, and it's going to take discipline. Wealth killer number 6, destroying your stability. Don't be the type of person who's quitting jobs impulsively, who's getting mad at their boss, or who's jumping industries randomly. Don't be the type who starts a business without planning, or who cashes out their 401k to go start a business. Most businesses fail. That 401k is your $1 million fund when you hit retirement. So be really, really careful with that. Don't let anger, don't let jealousy, don't let pride guide your decision and make you blow up your job or your life. The bottom line is this: you don't need to become a genius investor. You just need to not do stupid things. You need to have a basic plan in place. Anyone can follow the plan I just outlined. Anyone can become a millionaire by following it. Just don't blow up your life with one of these catastrophic mistakes. Wealth is built by consistency, patience, and discipline, and by refusing to sabotage yourself. Protect your body, protect your mind, protect your reputation, protect your relationships, protect your money. This is how you go from poor to middle class and from middle class to rich. So tell me in the comments, what stage are you at right now? What stage did you mess up on that you're recovering from? I'd love to hear from you. Going from poor to middle class, it's not random. It's sequential, and there's a formula. And this is backed by statistics. When you follow these steps in order, you're going to give yourself a structural advantage over millions of people who aren't following this path. And if you get them out of order, if you're having kids early on, before you finished your education, before you have a solid job, before you have a solid relationship, you're going to make it tougher. It's not impossible, but it's statistically much, much tougher. So make sure to share this video with somebody who's just starting out, who maybe hasn't made the same mistakes you've made, so they can get the order right. And if you want more psychologically driven financial transformations, make sure to subscribe and check the description for resources. I'm Dr. Brad Klontz, and I'll see you next time.